Thank you for joining us today on episode 3 of Siewert Heritage Outdoors. Today we are going to cover my bow box. Just kind of give me some tips, stuff if y'all know that works long term that I can add to my box. Just let me know down in the comments. Let's just jump right into it. Duct tape. Duct tape is essential. I like to use this for doing knot points. That is a trick from Shatterproof Archery. They are wonderful people over there, lots of knowledge, but that is a wonderful trick and it helps get your knot height right. And then you can tie your soft knots. That way you're not cutting a bunch of soft knots, wasting serving. You just do a little bit of duct tape and it goes a long way. This stuff here, something I got in the other day with the bow, with the Oberon that we unboxed. That is hopefully going to be wonderful for putting in between those limbs and trying to keep that a lot quieter. We also got, which isn't going in the bow box, but we also got the wool string groove silencers, which are peel and stick, which we will be putting in another video whenever we put the bow together. We'll be going through that a little bit more. So this top bit, we got all of our broadheads, our hunting broadheads. Look at that. Another blade fell off. So whenever you're putting these in here, I like to try to keep this O-ring as high up on them as possible. That way they're not doing this. But they do like to come out every now and then. Just make sure you're careful. They are razor blades. So don't cut yourself whenever you're trying to do these. Because I know I have several times. Several times I've cut myself. There we go. Get that put on there. Slide that up. But yeah, so I have these. I don't have the name of them right now, but I'll find that and put it in the description. I have a training one. I wrote TR on them. See, look, they just fall apart after you shoot them for a little bit. They tend to just want to come out if they're not in an arrow. If they're in an arrow, they don't come out because that pushes up on this collar, which is what keeps them in there normally. So it pushes up on that collar and that O-ring and it keeps them in there. But these are pretty good broadheads. Been using them for probably 6-ish months. They come with their own broadhead tool. Tighten them up, take them off, do whatever you need to with them. Calf hair rest came with the Oberon, so it's going to be as a backup. My serving material for doing all of my soft knots. My bowstring wags. And like I was just telling her, this is probably 8-10 years old, and it works wonderful. I was given a bunch of these rests, glue on, peel and stick rests that you use. I shoot off the shelf. Personally, I feel like it's a lot better. These were a gift from my uncle. He glued them all up, did everything you needed to them, gave them to me. I have never used them, but that's what they look like without the insert in them. Wives, girlfriends, sorry, but I'm going to tell your husbands, boyfriends, this is one of the best tools to use whenever you are doing a soft knot. Because you can just clip it right around your string and it holds your serving material. I mean, great. And then you can just undo it and bam, tie your knot. Holds everything nice and tight whenever you're trying to keep stuff still working by yourself.
And that's a hair beret?
I don't know what they call it. What is that?
Yeah.
Oop.
Yeah, that's a hair beret,
Hair beret.
from my bathroom.
Yeah, I stole
You
it.
can get those at a Dollar Tree.
Yeah, I stole that. I didn't even tell her. I just took it. I knew she wouldn't notice. She has so much hair stuff. Moving into the lower parts of the box, we got our bow square. I like to use the quarter side whenever I'm doing all of my knock height, anything like that. Use the inch side for doing my brace height. It just works pretty good for me. This was also a gift from my father-in-law, which a lot of these broadheads were as well. And then, like I said, my uncle gave me a lot of these. Sharpie, mark your duct tape at the bottom of your duct tape so you can tie your soft knot right at the top of that, and you can match your same knock height going in between them. I like to use these mechanical pencils. I don't really have any lead in there right now. There we go. But I like to use these because they have these flat spots and it sits real nice on the string. So whenever you're going to do your soft knot, you can put that on there and it just sits real nice without moving a whole lot. It just sits on there. Makes it real handy again. Ease of use whenever you're doing stuff. If y'all have any more tricks for doing soft knots, I do a knotless knot is what I do personally for all of my soft knots. They work great for me. If y'all have any other knots, let me know. Sanding block, in case you have any burrs, any areas you need to knock down on your bow, works great. Brass knuckles, pliers. Again, like I said, I moved to soft knots, though just in the last year, so using those, I've used those for quite a while, putting those on most of my bows. I do have a bow stringer. I haven't used it, like I said in the Oberon video, probably like 5 years. I haven't used that on any of my bows. If it is detrimental to your bow to string it with your leg every time, long term, let us know down in the comments. If it's not, and you haven't noticed any difference with your bow, let us know that down there as well. If there is no difference, I'm just going to continue doing it that way. It's easy. I don't ever have to just pull that out whenever I just want to go shoot 10, 15 arrows, you know. Got more fletchings and vanes for my compound arrows and then for my recurve arrows. So, got a couple colors in those. And I am probably more fond to the thumb releases than I am the trigger releases. I have 2 of these in here. I've used them. They are not my favorite. I have shot my entire life. I've shot guns my whole life, but these are just not, they're not my favorite. But I do have them. I've used them. I use this most of the time. And I actually have gone to putting a D-loop on the recurves, all my recurves that I shoot, as well as the compound, because you got to use a release with those. So whenever I do that, I'm trying to get a more consistent release instead of just using my fingers, because I have a real bad tendency to pluck the string whenever I pull it to my anchor. I pluck the string and I know it's bad and I need to stop doing it, but old habits die hard. So I tried implementing this, where whenever I put it up, I still have this at the same anchor point, because I pull my middle finger to the corner of my mouth. So I pull the edge of the release to the corner of my mouth, and I put my knuckle, this third, my ring finger on my right hand knuckle, in my cheekbone right up here. And I place that in there, and that gives me pretty much the same anchor point, just a little bit longer. And I've enjoyed using that quite a bit. Wonderful release. We got face paint, lightly used, also a gift from father-in-law. Works great. I've used it like once. I'm going to use it more going forward. Pliers, wonderful needle nose pliers. D-loop works great on the D-loop. Works great on 100 other things. Whenever you're cutting stuff, you need to bend something, whatever you're going to do. Pliers. Got my fill tips, all in different grainages. Get those measured out. Tape. This is T-Rex tape, super glue tape. We use this at work a bunch. That is probably one of the best super glue type tapes that I've seen to go with this rest, because it does not have a peel and stick backing. It is just the beaver hide rest. So we'll use it to put that down. We also got otter fur string silencers that we're going to be going ahead and putting on this bow, on the Oberon, and trying to quiet that down just a little bit. Even though it wasn't very loud, we're going to try and quiet it down for hunting. Same reason we got this. This is great stuff, I hope. Haven't used it yet, but it feels soft and it feels like it compresses whenever I push on it, so I feel like that's going to be a pretty good material. Got my glove. Like I said, I shot fingers for many years. I've just been putting the D-loop on the recurves just this last year and trying that out. Scissors are essential. Gotta have scissors, gotta cut stuff. Forearm guard. I used one for many years, and then I have not since I started this whole hunting venture. I have not put one back on. I feel like I'm gonna need to get one to help keep my jacket. The hunting jacket I got is pretty puffy, so I'm gonna have to keep it closed. Other than that, I haven't had wrist slap in several years. Once you get your form correct and you are consistent with your form, wrist slap goes away. So something to keep in mind. They are good to keep, especially for young ones, but not something that you're gonna use your whole life unless you're holding down clothing with it. Paracord. You gotta, pull your bow up into a tree stand, do whatever you need to, and gotta have paracord. Okay. Whenever we did the Oberon video, the unboxing, we talked a little bit about the string. Of course, this is a little bit different, but with this and with that, talking about how they separate, whenever you push against this right here, you can just see how they just separate. I mean, there's no twist in it anymore. It used to be twisted up. There's no twist in it anymore. But then, like, you can just see they just not very good. And I don't know where we got this string from. It was several years ago. I couldn't tell you at this point, but not a great twist on a string. Then like this one. Look at this one. See that? See how they're not coming apart? Even whenever I'm twisting it this way, pushing on it, it's not coming apart. That's proper back tension on a string. That right there is good. You want it to be one solid unit. Okay, and like I said, I put D-loops, put 2 soft knots, and then a D-loop. And I do it just like most people would on their compound. So I actually looked up how to tie my D-loop on Podium Archery. They are another YouTuber who does quite a bit of stuff. They are very knowledgeable. Watch a lot of their videos. That's where I learned how to tie my D-loop. So if you're ever watching me tie a D-loop and you're wondering how I learned, go watch him. He does a great explanation on it. Bow square instructions. I keep these, one, mainly because I did not know how to use a bow square, but 2, because whenever I need to refer back to it, this has several good tips on here about your knock point, your brace height, tailoring measurements, all of that stuff. It has really good pointers on a lot of it. You got a scale. Make sure all your arrows weigh the same, your broadheads, field tips, make sure everything's squared away. This one actually comes in the kitchen one, so it's not measuring in grains, it's measuring in grams? Yeah, grams. It's measuring in grams. So I have to do all of my own transitions from grams to grains, but it works and it's simple enough to look it up. And most of the time I just look it up on the internet and it pulls up the calculator to do it, so I just type in the numbers. This is my fletching jig. I think it is the BPE Pro Series. I'm gonna look at this real quick. You have 2 different types of 3 fletching, 3 different types of 4 fletching, I think 2 types of 5, and then 1 type of 6 fletching. 1 type of 5 fletching and 1 type of 6 fletching. So you can do flu arrows. On this one, you can do a 90 by 90 by 45. You can do a 60 by 120, 75 by 105. You can do a 120 for 3 fledge. So there's lots of options on this thing. More than I will probably ever use. This is my arrow card. Sorry about the handwriting, it's not super fancy. But I'm shooting the blemished arrows, the gold tip blemished arrows, in a 400 spine. With a 78, do you remember what it was, 78 grain? I think it's a 78 grain or 75 grain insert, and then 100 grain field tip. These are the, from Three Rivers, they're the Boeing 100 grain bullet field tips. And like I said earlier, they're shooting great. I mean, I like them. They fit just right. There's no overhang. They just fit perfect. So they didn't pull anything out of the target whenever I pulled them out. They did great, honestly. So there's that. We got our D-loop material here. So this is what I use on most of my bows. Now, the reason I have both of these in here is because before I wanted to go out and buy D-loop material, I decided, I'm gonna try paracord. Let me tell you, paracord is not the same as D-loop material. If you look, the diameter of these two are vastly different, okay? And this is a lot stiffer, so it'll hold its shape a lot better than paracord does. And with the paracord, with it being so big, your release tends to hang on the sides, from what I noticed. So whenever you're closing it, even if you have a bigger D-loop, even whenever you're closing it, it tends to want to grab onto the paracord. And then whenever you're opening it, it also wants to like pull on one side or the other, whichever one has more pressure. So if you're pulling, more with your pinky, then you're going to get it to hold more on that right side, and it's not the same every single release. Whereas whenever you have the smaller D-loop material and it fits over it with no problems, it's you're getting a very consistent release very early into that. Like, I'm having to pull that all the way back to get that paracord out of it, and here, as soon as that tension's on it, it comes right out. So, can you? Yes. Would I ever recommend it? No. I've tried it. Just go buy some some D-loop material. Works a lot better. You'll enjoy shooting it more because it'll be more consistent. This has its own application, but not as a D-loop material. that's pretty much everything in there that I know of, except for the Allen key that came with the Oberon that I'll be putting in here. And if you're worried about this being in here, it is still straight. This, whenever you close it, actually has, let me move these pliers, but it actually has a gap in there so that, you know, your bait, your lures and stuff wouldn't clank together. So there's actually a gap in there big enough to where whenever I close this in there, it does not get damaged or anything, and it doesn't move around a lot whenever I'm moving the box upstairs, downstairs, wherever I'm working on it. But yeah, that's kind of everything. The bow box we've gone over, you know, how I do my D-loop, stuff like that, and I will put that in the setup video for the Oberon, which let me bring that over here because again, just such a beautiful bow. Just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous bow. Fits great in the hand. It has this nice wide right here where your palm sits. That feels just, I mean, this bow is wonderful. It's very well balanced too. Just a little on this side, but very well balanced. So we'll be putting this together here in a future video. So putting all of the string silencers on, we're going to be putting the soft knots on, putting the D-loop on, the string groove silencers, and then we're also going to take the limbs off and put our super silencer pad underneath the limbs. So stay tuned for episode 4 of Siewert Heritage Outdoors, and we can't wait to see you then. So thank you and bye.